Shoo! What is going on, guys? This is Under the Scope Outdoors. My name's Hudson. We're doing something a little different. Check it out. We're trying the meat birds. We bought 100 White Cornish chickens. They're all female. They're all hen. We don't need any cockfights. They have tripled in the last week. Look at that, eh? They've already got primary and secondary feathers. Eat, sleep, shit, repeat. That's the process. We just filled that food last night. Well, they're already halfway through it. So we just took them off the electrolyte solution as well. Helps with them avoiding bacteria in the early stages of life. So you can see, we got the heat lamps for at night. Change wood chips, what, every other day, I think. We cut down a 5-gallon pail. Tape the corners. We don't need no birds getting trapped in the corner. We lost one or two because they all just got trampled. So here's the chicken electrolyte that I mentioned earlier. It's a granulated powder. It smells like dill pickle, actually. It's basically salt. There's potassium and magnesium as well, but sodium being the highest concentrate. And there's a lot of benefits to using this. Obviously, it helps keep the birds hydrated, but it also supports immune function, especially in these early ages. And it's also good for replenishing lost nutrients and minerals. These are pretty stressful times for the birds, but we want them to thrive. We want them to grow big and juicy. A couple more weeks in here, and when they're a little bigger, we'll be able to move them outside to the chicken shack. All right. Here's the chicken shack. So we're using a 12 by 24 Shelter Logic tent. You know, just what we use for the moose camp, socializing. Dad and I just made up these doors and corner piece for them. I just stained them yesterday. We just stapled the hardware cloth, pneumatic stapler. No shortage of staples at the bottom. We don't want any predators getting in. No fox or coyotes. Hardy's custom fabrication. Made some skis for the bottom. Then we'll use a rope. Nice. Use a strap. We can pull it around the yard. They can freely feed. Beauty. All right, we'll catch up later. Holy smokes, we're gone for a week and they've tripled in size. Got a new watering system for them. Figured out the red nipple. Look at that, it's got full wings. Look how big those feet are. All right, it's time for an update. We have moved our meat birds from the crates to our shelter. Check it out. Our meat birds got lots of room. They're starting to grass feed now. A little bit of a shelter there. Check it out. These birds are 23 days old now. Feeding station. Got some water going. So we'll give them a couple days in here, then we'll probably move the shelter to the next site. Look how big those feet are. Wow. Well, here we are. It's a wet, rainy day out. That's all right. Gotta wash away all the chicken scat we got across the yard. Update, the girls are officially 4 weeks old today. They're halfway through their cycle. I tell you, they're getting pretty personable. Look at that, eh? The girls are starting to develop the comb on top of their head too. They got a lot more feathers, of course. Look at that. This is fajita. Whoa! On the GoPro! As you can see, we walk around and there are very few white clovers left. This seems to be a fan favorite. They love eating the white clover. Pick the yard clean, actually. Good morning, girls. Wow. Can you tell the girls are hungry? Holy smokes. I don't know where to move. Wow. Look at my posse. That's awesome. A little bit of food for your chickies. Holy smokes. Day 31. They are hungry. Let's get the other one real quick. So, if you guys were curious what we were feeding them, it's called the Essex County Chick Grower / Finisher. I couldn't get an exact breakdown of the feed, but the main ingredients include corn, Ontario wheat, shorts, corn distillers, pork meal, soy meal 48%, gluten 21%, feed lime, and salt. All the essential minerals and vitamins for them. Wow. Day 33. Girls are looking good. I picked a couple mayflies last night down at the docks. Watch this. They love them. I got Traeger. And I think this is barbecue right here. As chickens lack sweat glands, they must pant in order to maintain their body temperature. Day 37, I think. I'm gonna throw a couple birds on the scale and see what they weigh. Maybe small bird. Pound and a half. Pound and a half? Oh my god. I think he's right here actually. We're struggling, friend. 1.7.
Yeah, it's not quite even on the scale, but yeah.
Almost a pound, 1 pound, 3/4. It's doing alright.
3.7, 3.
She's almost 4. Almost a 4-pounder. Just over 5 weeks in. Just under 4 pounds. 3.7. While we're in here, it's kind of gross, but it's important to evaluate and observe your chicken's droppings or their scat. Unfortunately, it's on the feeding pail, but this is a prime example of what you want to see, I believe. So you can see the white cap there. That is the urate or the uric acid, because as you know, chickens do not urinate like humans do. It all comes out one hole. Usually you want to see solid turds like that, although sometimes they'll come out wet like this. You do not want to see wet foamy scat, but that is a sign of the ceca doing its job. The ceca is an additional organ that's attached to the small intestines. And the main purpose of that organ is to help them absorb as many nutrients as possible. Sometimes the ceca will release itself to make room for its next meal. 6 weeks old today. 42 days. Which also means they are 75% of the way through their cycle. Roughly 2 more weeks to go, and I think we'll do our first batch of butchering. Look at this chickie. Her comb and her wattles are very well pronounced. She's looking good. Time to give them a move. Use a little electric leaf blower. Another day, another plot of grass, and they're getting to work. So we still need another 200 kilograms for 2 weeks, which is almost, that's roughly 450 pounds. That's crazy. Birds are looking good though. Wagyu chicken, boys. Wagyu chicken. Day 45. Time for another weigh-in. What do we got? Stays on the scale. Ain't that a girl? 5 pounds. So just over 6 weeks to reach 5 pounds. 5.2. 5.2 pounds. Yeah, she's a hefty bird. It's a new day, new stretch of grass. Fresh clovers. The girls are officially 7 weeks old today. They're looking good. Here's a couple quick chicken facts. Number 1, according to Google, chickens can recognize up to 100 different faces. That includes both other chickens and humans as well. They can associate good experiences and negative experiences. So, gentle reminder, be nice to your chickens. Number 2, according to Google, chickens use past experiences to make decisions. That is a sign of intelligence. It's a learned behavior. They learn by moving them every day. They're getting reward. We are giving them fresh grass and fresh clover to feed on. You can see through our video, the birds are getting more efficient with the move every day. Number 3, chickens are hierarchical. If you've ever heard the term pecking order, that comes directly from the flock structure of chickens. So as humans, we cannot visually see it as well, but within the flock, every individual knows where it sits. And perhaps some of our birds that have the more pronounced comb and the wattles, maybe they're near the top of the pecking order. And number 4, obviously we all know how delicious chicken meat is, but did you know it is a rich source of amino acids? Amino acids are good for building muscle tissue, but specifically speaking, within chicken meat there is something called tryptophan. Tryptophan has been linked directly to higher levels of serotonin, the feel-good hormone in our brains.
KFC, it's finger looking good.
The girls are officially 8 weeks old today. 56 days. It's a hot day. Birds are panting a bit.
This one thinks he's a goose.
Oh, there we go. 6.2 pounds. 6 1/4.
6 1/2.
Oh, look at that. That is awesome.
7 pounds.
We got a 7-pound chicken in 8 weeks.
7 1/2.
Wow. That's a good girl. So I think that means a couple more weeks. Looking for some 8 to 10 pounders, and then we'll probably do the first butcher. Pretty obvious where the chickens have been. Got a few more days of feed right here. They love the clovers. Here we are. The girls are officially 10 weeks old today. 70 days. So the time has come. We threw some birds on the scale the other day. We got some 8 1/2 pounders in the flock. So I think that's going to be good enough for the first butcher. We had just sectioned off. I think we have 22 chickens over here. So they're still allowed water, but for the last 24 hours of their life, they're not allowed to eat. The purpose behind that, we don't want to waste any of the feed, and when we go to clean them and process the birds, we don't want them to have full stomachs and full crops. It just make a lot more of a mess. So here we are, sectioned off, and I think we're gonna start the process later this afternoon. Got a couple 8-pounders, 8.5. Get some good eating. Let's get to work. Here's the pile so far. Beautiful. Nice plump birds. Very high fat content. Good eating. Starting to throw them in a shrink wrap.
6 poundages.
6-pounder. Rock on. Rock on.
That's a good sized bird.
Here we are, another day, another batch of birds. So that's 2 dozen more today. That's 48 of 92. 44 to go. Just over 50%. And that's it. That's a wrap. Look at these though. Nice, beautiful, plump chickens. What's not to love? Here's all the hearts from the birds. Rich fat content. Probably pan fry or saute, butter and onions. Here's the rest of the flock. It's day 74. So as you saw, we'd butchered the first half of the flock on the Monday and Tuesday. Those were the biggest birds of the flock, and we're given the other half another week to grow, and then I think it's gonna be their due time. But for now, we got some old English cucumbers and beefsteak tomatoes. Chickies love those. Some extra vitamins and nutrients for them. There's some over here. They love tomatoes. It's all part of a balanced diet, you know. Hungry chickens? I don't think so. Look at you guarding the nest. Here we are. Girls are officially 3 months old today. What were once the smallest birds of the flock. They're nice, big, and juicy. Official weigh-in.
8.2.
8.2 pounds. Not a girl. Look at that. 9-pounder. Not a girl. Just doing a little weigh-in, then a butcher tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Cheers. Another day, another batch. Well, good morning, chickies. It is the last round of butchering today. Our poor chickies are gonna be all gone. We do have a couple 10-pounders in the flock. The girls are 3 months old. We've got a couple 10-pounders. One last little pet. Gonna miss them. It's been fun though. Save the best for last. Should be one of the bigger birds. Gonna do before and after. 9.5. Alright. So 9.5 we'll say. Cool. Alright. We'll do a dress. We'll see what she weighs after. There it is. 7.6 pounds. So that means roughly 2 pounds in the head, the feathers, the blood, and the guts. Interesting. Well, that wraps up all the chicken butchering. I'll have to do a conclusion later. If I'm only going to show one way we like to cook these chickens, let it be one of my favorites. Oh yes, rotisserie style barbecue chicken. So the one chicken I got seasoned with the 3 little pigs, touch of cherry, It's a nice sweet rub. And the other one, of course, we got to go with the delicious jerk rub on there. And I'll point out too, I didn't have any twine for trussing the birds, but you can see I had 50% success. 50-pound braid fishing line, holding up on that bird. The more you know, eh? With these big plump birds, I like to look for an internal temperature of 165. I'm gonna stick the probe in there. I saw 152, 153. Not bad. So, maybe another 20 minutes, and these buggers are gonna be all good to go. Oh yeah. 10 out of 10. Cheers. Before we end this video, I think it is worth going over some of the numbers. To ask, was it worth the effort? The answer, absolutely, 100%. So let's break it down. We purchased the day-old chicks from Peavey Mart for an initial cost of $1.85 per bird. With tax, they cost $209 total. In the early stages, we'd lost a few birds in the crates, but once the flock was moved to the outdoor shelter, we never lost another bird. So this math is based off of 92 birds. We went through 36 bags of feed. At 25 kilograms apiece, that's good for 1,984 pounds of feed. If we take 1,984 and divide that by 92, we average 21.5 pounds of feed per bird. We had a total cost of $793 for the feed. So if we add 793 and 209, we have a grand total of $1,002. Then, if we take 1,002 and divide that by the 92 birds, we now have an average of $10.89 per bird. We didn't weigh every individual bird after processing, but we know we have a solid range of 5 to 8 pounders. We'll say 6 pounds was the overall average. In that case, if we take $10.89 and divide that by 6 pounds, that means we're good for $1.82 per pound. To put these numbers into comparison, I had checked Walmart, Loblaws, and Costco's prices for whole chickens. First up is Costco. Definitely the best bang for your buck, but as far as uncooked and whole birds, it was a poor selection. Look at these sad little things. Anyways, Costco offered the best price of all three, coming in at $2.94 per pound. Next up is Zehrs, or Loblaws. Right off the website, their listed price is $4.49 per pound. And lastly, we have Walmart, coming in last place with $1.13 per 100 grams, or $5.13 per pound. Yikes. So, when we compare all four prices, it's clear that our chicken meat is actually the cheapest. Of course, there's other factors involved, such as water and hydro, but we're already paying for those services. Above all, it's the quality of meat that should speak for itself. You couldn't find a better chicken in a store. These birds had the best life we could give them. And it was a lot of fun. We learned a lot. It was a great experience. And with that, I'd like to end it by saying thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, cheers.